Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sunday, about 11:30. Just got back from virtual church. Virtual church is kind of hard to do. I was actually doing the dishes during church. So 3 weeks into just being in my house all the time, standing in the same place I've been in the first two videos. Um, Somewhat surviving. Each day gets a little bit easier, but not really because I want to be around everybody. But couple confessions. One's a good one, maybe one's not so good. First one is in the last 3 weeks, I've become a smoothie master. So I'm pretty sure I might be the healthiest person in the world, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables with my little uh, ninja machine. Love the smoothies, eating them every day. So that's the first one. That one I'm kind of proud of. Second one, you probably never imagined that you'd hear me say this, but um, I discovered TikTok. So I've been on TikTok. So I can't stop watching videos on TikTok. I'm pretty sure I can do all the dances. Um, I'm pretty sure I know all the TikTok, everything that's going on. By the way, this quarantine is going to ruin TikTok because all old people are starting to get on it. I actually made a couple stupid videos. They're not even funny. They're just kind of dumb. But I know I tell you all the time to stay off social media, but man, TikTok, it's pretty funny. I mean, you have hours and hours during the day watching that. So those are my two confessions. So let's do a little housekeeping first. By now, you should have two worksheets in. A couple of you guys did really good on the worksheets. A couple of you guys kind of embarrassingly bad. I know this is different. I know this is tough, but guys, I don't want to have to give you bad grades online learning. So hopefully the second round of worksheets is a little bit better. I got to get some grades in for you. So tomorrow, or hopefully today, because it's probably Monday morning when you're watching this, at 10 o'clock, hopefully a quiz will pop up on Google Classroom. And you will take that quiz. And the rules of the quiz are you can't have any other tabs open. You can't have your phone. I'm gonna trust you guys that you're gonna do it right. Remember that a bad grade doesn't make you a bad person, but cheating on a test or a quiz does in fact make you a bad person. So if you don't do well, that's not that big of a deal. So so I'm going to review real quick with you, give you some things. You're going to open up the quiz at whenever, 10 o'clock this morning or whenever. It's due by Monday at 9 a.m. I'm sorry, it's due by Wednesday at 9 a.m. So once we get this quiz done, we'll go on to the next section of the Great Depression. So that's kind of where we stand right now. So let me go ahead and bring the slideshow up. If I can do it. All right, so here we are. So let me go back to the beginning of the slideshow. I'm going to kind of give you some things that you really need to understand, some things that you're going to need to know for the quiz. Just 10 question quiz. It's pretty basic. You should know most of it. All right, really an important thing during the Great Depression, just to start us off, it's going to be unemployment. Okay, we're going to get back to that. But remember, this is one of the most important things is this unemployment. Unemployment gets really high. It gets up to like, some people say like up to 25% of the workforce was unemployed. So the president at this time was Herbert Hoover. Okay, really important to understand that, really important to know. He was elected in 1928. Herbert Hoover, he was Republican. Okay. The thing that was driving the economy in the 20s was consumer goods, radios, cars, household appliances, things like that. Here it is right here. 1928 election, Hoover defeats the Democrat Alfred E. Smith. So you got to know that for the first 4 years, Herbert Hoover is the president of the United States. Really important. And that during the 1920s, people were dreaming of becoming rich by investing in the stock market. We've talked about that a lot. They were buying stocks on they were buying stocks on speculation. They were buying stocks on the margin, which basically means they were buying stocks that were really risky, hoping they would pay off big. And they were buying them on margin, meaning they didn't have the money. They borrowed the money, and that's really where they got themselves into trouble. Okay, so let's look at this again from probably guys are probably getting tired of talking about this, but so here's the stock market. You can see it gets really high. It's up here, and then it crashes, and then it slowly over the next numbers of years, it bottoms out in 1932. So the stock market crash. If somebody asks you what is the event in October of 1929 that signals the beginning of the Great Depression, it's the crash of the stock market. Really important. It's known as Black Tuesday. Here you go. But again, this is 1929 right over here. Okay, and it doesn't bottom out until it's going to go way down over here until 1932. So some of you may have been looking at the stock market over the last couple of weeks. You'll see similar downward spirals. Again, just trying to go over things that you're going to need to know. So the Great Depression, we say the Great Depression lasts from 1929 to 1940. Some people might say 1941. We're not done with it even after this quiz. Then we're really into the Franklin Delano Roosevelt time. Important to understand that there was a run on banks. Okay, so banks only have to have between 10 and 20% of the money that's deposited on hand. The rest, they've loaned it out. If everyone shows up at the same time to get their money, the bank will not have enough liquid money, meaning actual cash to hand out. The bank would collapse. People would lose their savings. So the stock market crash, unemployment, people losing their savings, was those things on top of each other. And we haven't talked about this yet, but the Dust Bowl, I know the readings did a little bit. There was an unbelievably bad drought over much of the country. So that hurt the farmers. So here is the GDP or the GNP. One's gross domestic product, one's gross national. Same thing. The GDP is all the goods and services made or served in 1 year in a country. So you can see the GDP is going up, and then from right here, and then it doesn't start going up again until 1938, 39, and then it really takes off in World War II. So this is what you're going to see in our country over the last 3 weeks is our GDP has gone way down. Okay, so perhaps if we get out of this thing in the next month or two, maybe it'll start going back up. But so this is how many goods and services are being produced in a country in a given year. You don't want this going down. You want this going up. So there's unemployment again. Okay, that big spike right there. And then finally it starts coming down. This is World War II right here where unemployment's really low. There was 3.5 million people in the United States applied for unemployment insurance last week. It'll probably be twice that number this week. So huge unemployment in America right now. And this has all happened within the last couple of weeks. You can see in the Great Depression, it took a couple of years. Some causes of the Great Depression: tariffs and war debt policy, crisis in the farm sector. The farmers were producing more goods. The price was low. So if the price is low and we're producing more, it's going to drive the price even lower. So there was a problem with the farmers. People had easy credit. That was one of the reasons that the Great Depression, when they didn't have money, they couldn't pay off what they owed. And there was some unequal distribution of income. Again, just a review. What I want you to understand is these couple of pictures, okay? These few pictures that we've looked at really explains what's going on. Massive unemployment. Okay, there was nothing. The government did nothing to help these people out. People that have lost their jobs in the last couple of weeks in the United States, Congress passed a $2 trillion relief bill, and it was signed by the president. So people will be getting some money. Some businesses will be getting some money to try to help curb the unemployment numbers. But in the Great Depression, there was nothing. So if you lost your job and you had no money, that was it. The only way you could get money was from a charity, maybe from your church. And we talked about these pictures. This is a Hooverville where people lost their homes. They had no money to pay for their homes, and they just basically went out to vacant lots and got some scrap and some garbage and maybe some cardboard and some plywood and kind of nailed it together, made a house. So here's what I want you to know for the quiz. Hoover is the president. He's elected in 1928. He is a laissez-faire, just like every government official would have been at that time. He believes in laissez-faire economics, which means the government stays out of the economy. They don't do things to try to spur the economy. They don't do things to try to slow down the economy. They let the economy run on its own. So Hoover does basically nothing until maybe towards the end. He does a few things. While he's president, they build the Hoover Dam, which puts $700 million into the economy. So they realize that, hey, when the government spends money and people have jobs, then it helps the economy. So, but what I want you to really understand, what I want you to really focus on is that Hoover really didn't do much. The federal government didn't do much. They were just, that was the status quo. Hoover, though, does get blamed for the Great Depression. By the time he is, by the time the election of 1932 rolls around, he is not very popular for mainly for the economic woes of the country. So there's his philosophy. Okay, he believed in rugged individualism, meaning that people should go out. They should learn how to make money. They should learn how to get themselves out of the situation that they're in. The problem with the Great Depression, it was so bad that there was really nothing that they could do. Think about what you've been reading about the last 2 or 3 weeks. People who lost their jobs, that this pandemic came out of nowhere. There was nothing they could have done to plan for. It was similar to the Great Depression. There's the Hoover Dam. In 1930, the Democrats take back lots of the seats in the House of Representatives, so the Republicans lose a lot of seats. We're 2 years into the Great Depression. They're getting, the Republicans are being blamed. Voters vote for the Democrats. Still, Hoover's still president. It's not a presidential election in 1930. We talked a little bit about that, about the bonus army. And then the Great Depression affected all walks of life, no matter where you lived, no matter what your job was. Everybody in America suffered greatly. Many lost everything they had. And that it was really Hoover's belief in laissez-faire economics that kind of crippled him. He didn't really do much there. He was kind of paralyzed because the governments had never done anything. So that is a quick review. You have the readings, you have the slideshow. So look them over. It's a quiz. That's all it is, a quiz grade. It's worth the same thing that the worksheets are. Hopefully it'll open up at 10 a.m. If somebody goes to open it up tomorrow and everything works great, email me and just let me know that it worked. Also, email me and let me know what social media I started viewing, and I'll give you 5 extra points on the quiz. Don't tell anybody. If they haven't watched this video, it's their loss. So really miss you guys. I'm around all the time. When I'm not in my house, which is never, but if I'm not, I have my phone so I can respond to you guys. Let me know what's going on. Take the quiz. The quiz is due by Wednesday at 9 a.m. So let me escape out of here. All right. So take the quiz by Wednesday at 9 a.m. and stay active. Try to stay sane. I'm learning how to do it, but it's not any easier. So online church was good this morning in that I got back to kind of felt normal. So read your Bible if you need anything at all. We're around, so feel free to reach out to us. So have a good Sunday, and then Monday take the quiz. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.